My son called me old-fashioned and didn't want me to meet his friends. I smiled and left, but inside, I was heartbroken. My name is Florence. I'm 70 years old. I raised my son Mark alone after my husband died. I gave him everything, my time, my energy, and all my love. I even bought him a car when he finished college. I tried to stay close. I learned to use a smartphone and joined social media just to be part of his world. So when he invited me to dinner, I was happy. I dressed nicely and wanted to fit in. At first, things went well, but then I heard Mark say I was too old-fashioned and might embarrass him. My heart sank. I stayed calm and left without a word, but something changed in me that night. A few days later, I asked Mark to meet. I had a lesson to give. We met at a small cafe. Mark arrived a little late. He looked relaxed, like this was just a normal visit. He didn't know what I was about to say. I had planned it in my head, but still, my heart was racing. I took a deep breath and smiled as he sat across from me. I stayed calm. I wanted to speak clearly and from the heart. I started by telling him how much his words had hurt me. I reminded him of the night at his apartment. I told him how I heard him call me old-fashioned. I said I didn't mean to listen in, but I did. And it hurt. I told him I felt unappreciated. I said that I had spent my whole life being his mother, doing everything I could for him. But now, I needed something else. I needed to be myself. He looked confused at first. Maybe he didn't expect me to bring this up. But I kept going. I told him I wanted to take back the car I had given him. Not because I was angry, but because it was time for me to take back some part of myself. I needed to feel like a full person again, not just someone's mother. Mark looked surprised. Shocked, really. He leaned back in his chair and crossed his arms. He said I was overreacting. He said the car was a gift and that people don't take back gifts. He tried to laugh it off. But I didn't let him change the subject. I stayed firm. I told him that sometimes even gifts carry emotions. That car came from my heart. It was given with love, but I realized now that I had given away too much of myself in the process. I needed to reclaim it. He didn't know what to say. I could see he was uncomfortable. But I wasn't trying to hurt him. I just needed him to understand. I needed him to see me as a person. Not just a mother, not just someone who gives, but someone who also needs and feels. After that meeting, I went home and cried. Not because I regretted anything, but because it was hard. It's never easy to stand up for yourself, especially when it involves your own child. But I knew I had done the right thing. Something had shifted inside me, and there was no going back. In the days that followed, I started doing things I hadn't done in years. I went into the garden, pulled weeds, and planted flowers. I spent time outside in the sun, feeling the dirt in my hands. It reminded me of the joy I used to feel just being in nature. I joined a book club at the local library. At first, I felt nervous. Most of the members were younger, but they were kind. They welcomed me. Every week, we read a new book and talked about it. I enjoyed hearing different thoughts and ideas. It made me feel connected again, not to Mark, but to the world. One day, I walked past an art supply store and stopped. I hadn't painted in years. I used to love painting landscapes. I remembered how peaceful I felt holding a brush. So I went inside, bought some supplies, and took them home. That night, I painted for hours. It wasn't perfect, but it made me feel alive. Every day, I added more things to my routine that brought me peace. I walked in the park, I watched birds, I drank tea in silence. I had lived my life always doing something for someone else. Now I was finally doing things just for me. It felt strange at first, but slowly, it started to feel good. Weeks went by. Then one afternoon, there was a knock on my door. I opened it, and there was Mark. He looked different. Not in his clothes, but in his face. He looked softer, more serious. He stood there for a moment, then said, "Can we talk?" We sat down in the living room. I made us some tea. He didn't rush into it. He looked around, like he was trying to see the place with new eyes. Then he turned to me and said he was sorry. He said he had thought a lot about what I said. He admitted that he had been wrong. He said he never meant to hurt me, but he understood now that he had. We talked for hours. Not just about that night, but about everything. He asked me about my garden. He asked what books I was reading. He even asked to see my paintings. It felt like we were really talking for the first time in years. He told me he had always seen me as Mom, the one who fixes everything, the one who gives and never asks for anything. He said he forgot I was a person too. A person with a name, with dreams, with feelings. Hearing those words meant everything to me. I didn't need a big apology. I just needed to know that he saw me. That he respected me. That he understood I wasn't just a role in his life, I was someone with my own life too. After he left, I sat in the quiet of my house and smiled. I felt peace. It had taken time, pain, and courage to get here. But I had done it. I had stood up for myself. I had chosen me. In the weeks after that visit, we talked more often. He would call to check in. Sometimes we would meet for lunch or go on a walk together. It wasn't always perfect, but it was better. Our relationship had changed, and I was glad. We were no longer stuck in the old pattern. And even if things had stayed the same, I would have been okay. Because now I knew who I was. I was Florence. I was a woman who had spent her life loving her son, but who had also found the strength to love herself. I kept painting. I even gave one of my pieces to the library. They hung it in the reading room. People often stopped to look at it. Some even asked about it. That made me smile. The garden kept growing. Each flower felt like a little gift from life. Something just for me. I would sit outside in the mornings, drink my tea, and listen to the wind. It was quiet, but not lonely. I felt full. The book club became a big part of my life. We laughed a lot. We shared stories about more than just books. I made friends who saw me as Florence, not Mark's mom. That meant more than I could say. One day, Mark surprised me with a small canvas and a note. The note said, "For your next painting, I want to see more of who you are." I cried when I read it. Not because I was sad, but because I was happy. My son saw me. That moment told me everything I needed to know. He understood. He cared. And even if he never said the right words again, I knew he meant it. Life is different now. I wake up each day with a sense of purpose. Not because someone needs me, but because I want to do things that make me happy. I'm still a mother, and I always will be. But now, I am also Florence. And that matters. It took time to find myself again. It took tears, silence, and hard talks. But I don't regret any of it. Sometimes, the hardest steps lead to the best places. And this place I'm in now? It's peaceful. It's honest. It's mine. I don't know what the future holds, but I know this: I will keep growing. I will keep painting. I will keep reading. I will keep being me. Because now, I know that being me is enough. I am Florence. And I finally feel free.